We'll quickly go through some of the power rankings and other data options here. You can see power rankings here for our new subscribers. Not many people have probably seen this if you're not a subscriber. You can see exactly how each team ranks according to these articles on an efficiency basis. Not just how do they rank in terms of who would beat whom, but how would they rank on an efficiency basis. The 1 through 32 here in the NFL is exactly how teams would rank in the NFL if everybody played everybody 50,000 times. But in those games, the average score offensively that a team puts up is what dictates its offensive rank. Number 1 here for the Patriots, despite the fact that they're number 2. The points that they allow in those games, in which we simulate every team against every team 50,000 times, dictates their defensive rank in ascending order. So the Baltimore Ravens, in this case, give up the fewest amount of points in those games. Offensive pass efficiency and defensive pass efficiency are related to the expected yards per pass play, which includes when sacks occur or scrambles occur, or even when interceptions occur, that we would expect out of a team against an average NFL team. It's either for or against. And then with rush, it's similar, though this is where we account for fumbles and say that on an average running play, how often would we expect, or what is our expectation in terms of the yardage gained per running play when we account for the net loss of a fumble lost on a play. So that's for offense and for defense. It's a pretty quick run through of the power rankings, but I think you'll see that it's a kind of valuable tool, and it's something that we definitely reference quite a bit in our Pulse Picks analysis and other analysis. League schedules and team schedules, I'll very quickly highlight this. Here you can see that we've got each week noted what the spread is, who's playing at what time and where. Now, you can go back through historically and use this same analysis to see what the score was in the game, what the original spread was, and what the over-under was to determine how teams performed on a weekly basis throughout one league. You can also look forward and see that while rotation numbers here aren't set, this is what the schedule looks like for Week 10, for instance. We've got that for all sports, including college football, the NBA, and college basketball, for when those sports actually start playing. Team schedules, a lot of people I know will go elsewhere to look for a lot of this kind of information, so we're happy to now put it on the site to show exactly how teams have been performing straight up, over, under, and against the spread. Here you can see for the best example, and the default example is the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL. You can see their record and in terms of where they've played, who they've played so far, what the score has been, who they're playing next, but also what those ultimately have looked like in terms of against the spread results and over/under results. For this specific team, Arizona is 1-3-1 against the spread. They're 0-1-1 against the spread at home so far, 1-2 away against the spread, and in each case, the over on the over/under is noted first and the under noted second. So in all of the away games for Arizona, the game has gone under, whereas in all of the home games for Arizona, the game has gone over. It's interesting information that I know people like to look through, especially when there is the possibility that the team has already played this opponent, or when you're looking for common opponents and how teams fared against common opponents. Hopefully you can start to use this tool for that option and for that kind of analysis. And lastly, playoff probabilities, which are completely free to everybody, as are the schedules, team and league schedules. Playoff probabilities show off one of the coolest things that I think that we have, and that's the ability to play the entire rest of the season at any given time, 50,000 times, to assess the likelihood that a team wins the division, wins the wild card, or goes on to win the Super Bowl. As you can see here, as of the time that we're recording this, for instance, the Green Bay Packers are projected as a 6-0 team to get to 13.5 wins, so almost 14 wins on average, to win the division 72% of the time, the wild card 25% of the time, so a total of 97% of the time the Packers make the playoffs. And they are the league leader amongst all NFL teams in their likelihood to win the Super Bowl, though that number is only at 13%. And this is great for helping to evaluate futures, but also if you're just a fan who wants to check in every Tuesday when this is published, usually in the late afternoon, to see what your team's chances of going on to do really big things are. We update this, as I mentioned, every Tuesday, and the numbers can change, obviously, and will change on a weekly basis as teams play their games, and we know exactly whether they win or whether they lose. That concludes our analysis of the Data tab. Again, if you have any additional questions or have any feedback, especially from the Trend Finder itself, which is a new application for us, we'd love to hear it. by clicking on customer support link. You can send us a note at any time. We also have an FAQ now that we've added there that you can check out at any time to see what are some of our responses to some frequently asked questions. And again, any suggestions are always appreciated. Thanks again. This concludes the video on the Data tab.